This episode of the Sloopcast is brought to you by the Mad Canadian Bbq Company. The Mad Canadian Bbq Company is an Ohio-based company where they usually say, our seasoning will take your barbecue from good to great. Great seasonings such as the Coffee and Q, the Savory, the Kerry Steak, and the Mad Hatter. You can't go wrong with any of the seasonings over at the madcanadianbbq.com. That is the madcanadianbbq.com. Do still want to announce that the Mad Canadian is still working on getting his supplies back in stock. So appreciate everybody being patient. He says here, he thanks you and apologizes at the same time. Your overwhelming support paired with an alarming unavailability. Stay tuned to the Mad Canadian social pages for updates on when his shop will be back up. His food truck will be available at the Cary Brewing Station in Cary, Ohio.
Kyle, I think not actually. I think that had to be canceled.
That one had to be canceled. All right, scratch that then.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out the Mad Canadian social medias to check out where he might be with his food truck, as well as where his when his stock will be opened up. Mad Canadian Bbq Company, where he has your butt covered.
Yeah, just wanted to point that out real quick. Check his social media pages just to be sure. I think he had to park the truck for a little bit. Let's see. But this episode of the Sloopcast is also brought to you by the Iron Bean Coffee Company. Kyle, cold brewed some unicorn. Right here. That's some cold brewed unicorn right there. That's one of the flavored coffees. It's a mystery flavor. I'm not going to try and guess what it is, but it's really good. I like it a lot. I've sort of over the years shifted away from the flavored coffees and into more of the standard coffees. This is the last of my unicorn. So I think I'm cracking this big boy open next time. I think so. I'm going to get back with a report for you on the ride or die. I'm going to read this package real quick. Tumbled with cocoa nibs and vanilla beans. Hell yeah. That's what the packaging says. So yeah, that's going to be the next one. I'll get back. I'm caught in the cables. I'm going to get back to you guys next week on that one. Still Christmas season. I believe we are now running a sale. The sale code is 2020 to get 20% off. Let me double check my notes on that. Save 20% off for the rest of the year. Coupon code 2020. And you can find that at ironbeancoffee.com. That's America's local coffee roaster, Iron Bean Coffee. What's up, YouTube?
Everyone enjoy the game?
The game is coming.
It is.
Yes. Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But we'll talk about that more once we get our audio listeners back. Yes. Which, Kyle, I'm feeling a little impatient today. Let's go ahead and get our audio listeners back.
All right.
We've got barbecue back here. You're all invited. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right, Jared. How are you today?
I have no complaints. Which is saying something for me, because I like to complain. It's a thing I like to do sometimes.
No. Yeah, don't say.
Oh, that is such a knowing. Nah.
Nah.
So knowing. It's almost like we lived together for a long time or something.
Nah.
Ohio
State defeats Michigan State 52-12.
I guess we're right into the bounce back. Let's not screw around today, guys.
Nope, we're going to try to hit that hour mark.
Are we? I mean, we're going to try.
We're going to try. 52-12, as a lot of us leading up to this game here was really worried. We kept seeing, it was maybe 10 players. Then we saw it was like 17. Then it ended up being a total of 23 players not being available for the game. We're like, hold our breath. Let's see how this team's going to respond with the number of players being out.
It was 17.
Majority of them, though, on that offensive line.
Well, not a majority.
Well,
Majority
starters.
of the starters were on the
Yes.
offensive line. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. There were a total of 23 players, 17, which is, I think, where we were getting that 17 number, were scholarship players.
Yes.
So Ohio State was down 17 scholarship players. Players including Cameron Bobb, Tuff Borland, Cam Brown, Mookie Cooper, Jacoby Cohen, Aaron Cox, who's a walk-on, Marcus Crowley, Tyler Friday, Patrick Gerd, who is a walk-on, Jalen Harris, Paris Johnson, not a starter Paris Johnson, but due to other unavailable players, would have been a starter. So even though technically not a lost starter, kind of a lost starter, we can get into that a little bit more later. Walk-ons Cam Kittle and Jagger LaRue, and long snapper, who's also a walk-on, Rowan McCullough. Starting left tackle Thayer Munford, starting center Josh Myers, starting right tackle Nicholas Petit-Free, Noah Porter, starting safety Josh Proctor, tight end Joe Royer, wide receiver G. Scott, defensive back, who's a walk-on, Alex Taylor, and safety Court Williams. Court Williams, much like Paris Johnson, not a starter, but due to other depleted scholarship players being unavailable, could have seen time had he been available. So even though like those two aren't technically lost starters, but still kind of contributing to the lack of depth. But Kyle, you want to know who did play?
Does he wear number 1?
He wears number 1. Number 1 on his jersey, number 1 in your hearts, Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm. Number 1 played, number 2 played, number 5 played, number 33 played, number 8
Number
played.
8. Number 8 played.
Yes, he had a great game. And we were talking, of course, Trey Sermon, 112 yards and a touchdown in this game.
His progression's been really good this season.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle, I think you posted, yeah.
It was in our Discord.
Yeah, I found it. Game 1, 48 yards, 4.4 average. Game 2, 56 yards, 4.3 average. Okay, so there's your first 2 games. First 2, again, new to the system.
Mm-hmm.
Weird offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Starts off not bad. These aren't bad numbers. Over 4 yards a carry, nearly 4.5 a carry. These aren't bad numbers by any means.
No.
Game 3, 68 yards, 5.7. Game 4,
better. Yep.
60 yards on less carries, 6.7 per carry. This game, 112 yards, 11.2 per carry. Trey Sermon starting to figure out this offense.
Yes, sir.
And if you watched any of Clemson, who I'm starting to become fairly sure will be Ohio State's opponent in the playoff, more on that later. If you watch Clemson against Virginia Tech, or again in many of their other games, very vulnerable to the run. Their defensive line is undersized.
Very, yes. We've seen a number of times this season with Clemson. Yeah, they definitely struggle on obviously both sides, on both running and passing as well. We saw Notre Dame being able to pass at just really well against Clemson about a month ago. And then here against Virginia Tech, they were able just to run over them too.
Yeah.
Holding on to the ball, trying to keep Trevor Lawrence off the field as much as they could. And was able to control the ball. In the first half, they looked really good.
Yeah. So Ohio State ends the first half up 28-0.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it was overall a pretty dominating performance. Ohio State looked very good on offense. They looked tremendous on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I
think Michigan State had like 2 or 3 first downs all of the first half. There's something really ridiculous like that.
And I know at least one of those was because of a penalty. So, yeah, the defense looked tremendous. I'm not really willing to declare some sort of big victory over the fact that the defense looked really great. because if you listen to Kyle and I's Friday episode, you know that the offensive side of the Michigan State ball has been horrendous this year. So let's not get too excited over Ohio State completely dominating defensively in this game. I would say, and I'm not trying to take anything away from the defense. I thought they played well. You still have to show up. You still have to play well. But Rocky Lombardi. In fact, I think we have a question in here somewhere. Was there a, this is from our geographically challenged friend, Itchigan Bucknut. I mean, that's what his username is now. It's now Itchigan. I don't know how else you would pronounce that. Was there steps taken forward by the defensive back group, or is MSU just that bad? MSU's just that. Yeah, no, MSU's just that bad. I'm not saying that the defensive backs aren't progressing and taking steps forward. I'm just saying the Michigan State game doesn't prove that. That's all I'm saying.
There wasn't much in terms of how much worse they could get, because they're based off of the national rankings. Ohio State was the bottom quarter.
Yeah.
Of pass defense, and they moved up. They're still maybe bottom third now, but rush defense, yeah, they're still one of the top defenses in stopping the run.
For sure.
But having these kind of games really helps pad the stats, so to speak. But yeah, definitely Michigan State, and we even said it on Friday's episode. I was not worried about Michigan State scoring a lot of points. It was more of how well can Ohio State's offense move the ball with number of players out, and just stop with the turnovers that we saw against Indiana.
For sure. By the way, ironically, and of course this is just a stupid statistical anomaly and not necessarily a reflection of anything. Mm-hmm. Ironically, Ohio State ends up only outpassing Michigan State by 19 yards.
Because they didn't need the pass.
Exactly.
They
No.
Rushed for 322 yards against Michigan State. And just how much does that really say about a Michigan State defense who's always been known for having stingy defenses? It's hard. Yeah. It's hard to get good yardage against Michigan State. You're punting the ball a lot, and then Michigan State tries to get field position here, and you're rushing for over 6.5 yards per carry.
In defense of the Michigan State run defense, I'm not talking about the pass defense. They got abused. Ironic, again, statistical anomaly with the stats. Ohio State went up big early, so they, at a certain point, just weren't throwing the ball down they actually never really threw the ball really down the field. But
there's just a couple of them. The one with to Chris Olave.
Yeah. But the point is that Ohio State just basically started focusing on the run game very early in the game, just because they were up so big. But as far as Michigan State's run defense goes, like, they were on the field. It felt like the entire game. I don't think I have time. Do I have a time of possession? I don't think I have a time of possession stat in the notes. But it doesn't matter. The point is that Ohio State was getting first downs. Michigan State, especially in the first half, was not. The defense was on the field the entire time. I don't care how good your defense is. If you spend that much time on the field against a talented opponent, eventually, like, you just run out of juice. I don't care how well conditioned you are. I don't care. Eventually, you run out of juice. You can't have your defense out there that much.
It was 32-47 for Ohio State, 27-13. So it was a lot closer than I thought. Time of possession.
Oh, sorry. Say it again.
32-47, so just under 33 minutes for Ohio State, and just over 27 for Sparty.
But what would it have been in the first half?
Yeah, that would have been a good.
Right. We don't have that. We don't have that number, unfortunately. But yeah, because Michigan State was starting to get some first downs and put together some drives in the second half a bit. They do end up getting a touchdown. They do end up getting a field goal. They are ended up gifted a safety. But, they had some success in the second half. So the fact that the actual end of game time of possession ends up being closer isn't a huge shock. But when the game actually mattered, I would imagine Ohio State had a really pretty healthy share of that time of possession. Speaking of Michigan State doing better in the second half, Kyle, let's play my new favorite game. You ready? You ready to play my new favorite game?
Sure.
Okay. My new favorite game is called Why the Hell Were They Starting? So over here we have Michigan State. Mm-hmm. They will be taking on defending champion Kirby Smart. Hey, Michigan State. Why the hell was Rocky Lombardi starting? Peyton Thorne comes into the game. I think he completes his first 10 attempts. Maybe first 11 attempts. Ends up going 16 of 25. But he has he nearly doubled the yards per attempt of Rocky Lombardi. He had 147 yards compared to Rocky Lombardi's 33. Unlike Rocky Lombardi, Peyton Thorne actually gets a 64% completion percentage, whereas Rocky Lombardi couldn't crack 50. And if you're wondering if this was, again, maybe the first half versus the second half, Ohio State trying harder versus... I've been watching Michigan State all year, and I almost stopped myself from really going after a collegiate athlete right here. So if I'm starting to hesitate, that's why. Mm-hmm. I think... So just to say this as nicely as I can, why the hell wasn't Peyton Thorne playing much, much sooner in Michigan State's season? Please explain yourself, Sparty.
No idea. I do have some first half stats.
Okay.
18 minutes, 19 seconds for Ohio State. 11:41 for Sparty.
Yeah, that's more what I was.
First half here, Ohio State 270 total yards. Sparty 80.
Yeah.
12 of those on the ground.
Yeah.
And that's with Peyton Thorne coming in and going 6 for 6 for 35 yards.
Yeah. No, it was a bloodbath. This is a 52-12 win that was somehow worse than the score indicates. And I think we were all preparing for Ohio State to underperform this game. You're missing 17 scholarship players. You're missing
your head coach.
You're missing 3 assistants? Greg Madison, Corey Dennis, mm-hmm. and someone else. I can't remember who off the top of my head. Kyle, can you check the breaking news channel of the Discord? I think I put it in there. You're missing 17 scholarship players. You're missing, it was like 5 or 6 starters. You're missing 4 coaches, including your head coach. And
you got here Ryan Day, Greg Madison, Matt Barnes, and Corey Dennis.
Matt Barnes, that was the 4th coach. Yeah, it's pretty devastating. And honestly, I kind of think that's why Ohio State destroyed Michigan State. I think they actually go into the Michigan State game taking it much, much, much more seriously than they would have otherwise. They kind of went into that game as if they had to bring their best to beat Michigan State.
And the good news, and we're not going to know this until maybe and if the game comes up next Saturday, we're going to see a number of these players back, because not all of these players who are out were tested positive. It was more of them sitting out because of contact tracing.
Yeah. So and that's not a thing that Ohio State has released.
No. Ohio
State has not released of those 23 players who were tested positive and who were out due to contract tracing. So that's not information we have at this time.
Nope. Let's see what else. What else? Let's see. Justin Fields looked really good. Didn't
Yep.
have to really pass the ball all that much. 17 for 24, 70% completion, 199 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mentioned Sermon had a career game as a Buckeye.
Yeah.
Justin Fields rushes for another 100 yards for the game. CJ Stroud gets his first touchdown as a Buckeye.
Yeah.
He had a nice read there, runs off 48 yards, which shows a lot of promise for the 2021 season as far as have a similar type of runner as Justin Fields for next year.
Not that he has the job. Jack Miller has something to say about that.
Yeah.
But no, I feel good about Ohio State's quarterback future. Whether it be Miller or Stroud, I feel good about it. And by the way, I just want to point out that if you really, really liked that run by CJ Stroud, I'd like to point out to you that they didn't even list him as a dual threat quarterback. He per 24/7 Sports, he is a pro style quarterback. So he's not a runner. Just if you're a casual fan, he's not a running quarterback. Not by trade. Just want to throw that out there. He is a thrower of the football. CJ Stroud is.
Yes. Let's see what else.
Well, I think we need to talk about the coaching staff and the offensive line. Offensive line devastated.
Oh yeah, there was especially the first drive, which ended up getting a touchdown. Great. It's a great statement saying, "Hey, we had three offensive linemen out. One of your starters had a transition to the center.
Kind of four. Because
your
presumed sixth man was also out.
Yes. You had one of your starting linemen switching positions to center. Yeah. And it was really well known that he is not a center.
Well,
and then you had
he is actually. That's part of the concern.
Yeah, you're right.
He was recruited as a center, and he's supposed to be the center next year. You just have to chalk that up to a young man with some nerves. That's it. That is a young man.
And it did improve as the game went along. Yes.
Yeah. That's a young man working through some nerves.
And then you had White Davis, the only starter in his position, in his normal position on that offensive line. And for them giving up, what was it? Only 3 sacks for the game. And I know this is a bad Michigan State game. And Ohio State's been known to give up sacks, whether it's Fields holding on to the ball longer than he should, or a breakdown in the communication of the offensive line. But only 3 sacks for this game compared to what we've seen in previous games. That's something to really that's something really positive to take out of this game. You only get 3 sacks for a bunch of players who've only been working together as a unit for a week. Maybe a little bit more than a week.
As that unit, yeah. Because they started to know the players were going to be out, but then they weren't doing a lot of actual practicing the week before because of the facility being contaminated and everything. And so first off, I want to congratulate Jack Miller. He had, Justin Fields, that first drive especially, but also through a lot of the first quarter, was basically playing shortstop and quarterback. That was a real rough start, but you know what Jack Miller did? He stuck in there. He worked through it while playing against, and again, Michigan State, not a great football team, but it's still a team with some talent along the defensive line. He worked through it. And he figured it out in the middle of a game on national television with a season on the line. He figured it out. So congrats to him for working through it. Congrats to the three guys making their first starts as Buckeyes. That's huge. They come in, again, as Kyle said, and absolutely kill it. I want to congratulate Greg Strudrawa, who is a coach that has received criticism over the years. But I'd like to point out that he has received criticism primarily from a recruiting standpoint, as far as being a developer and as far as being a game prep coach is excellent. And he proved it. If you had any, he might be I think you can say he's probably the weakest recruiter on the Buckeye staff. But why keep him around? This is why.
Yes.
He comes in and he was able to put together this offensive line. He had the backups ready in a season that is chaotic. He had his backups ready to come in and play. He put together the unit on short notice, and he had them put together a really nice game. So if you see Strudrawa maybe failing on the recruiting trail, and you're asking yourself, why keep him around? Well, this is why. Because he's capable of doing stuff like this.
Yes.
Congratulations to Kevin Wilson, who basically runs the offense single-handedly. And, he's capable of it. He's a big boy. He ran the Oklahoma offense for years. He ran the entire Indiana program as a head coach. He steps in and he basically runs the entire offense. Now, it was Ryan Day's offense. No, not exactly. Because he had to adjust that offense. That was not the same playbook that Ohio State had used in the 4 games previous. He put together a really good game plan that got the ball out of Justin Fields' hands quickly. You had to adjust to starting with 2 new offensive tackles. Ohio State was missing 3 of their top 4 tackles. Their number 1 or 2 backup also out of this game. They had to plug in, like I said, they had to plug in 3 new offensive linemen. They knew the pass protection was going to be lacking. They put together an offensive game plan and executed it on short notice, and it worked to perfection.
One thing I was a little surprised with Kevin Wilson taking more control on the offense here.
Yeah.
0 completions to tight ends.
It's not super surprising. I know.
Well, I guess too, you have the tight ends helping out.
Yes. The tight ends are primarily blocking. Again, you have to put together a game plan. The offensive line played well. I don't want to take anything away. I want to take absolutely 0 away from the offensive linemen who stepped into this game and played well. But the coaching staff put together a game plan to put them in position to be successful.
Yep.
They understood that the offensive line was going to be limited and not as good as their starters, because the starters are the starters. They understood that going in, and they put those young, inexperienced, not quite there yet offensive linemen in position to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Also, congratulations to acting head coach.
Yes.
Larry Johnson.
Larry Johnson now 1-0 as the Ohio State head coach, which means he officially has 1 less loss. And therefore is the winningest by percentage coach, passing Ryan Day of all time.
Yeah.
1-0, baby. Best thing about 1-0 is a chance to go 2-0. Eventually, maybe. But hopefully not.
Well, I think Ryan Day's coming. I think Ryan Day's back for the game.
Whatever.
It happens.
or whomever Ohio State ends up playing on Saturday.
Yeah, there's that too. But yeah, no, a lot of players, even former players, just coming out and just saying just how great of a guy Larry Johnson is.
Yeah.
And just how well he's liked in the locker room there. And just they didn't miss a beat with Ryan Day sitting at home on his couch watching the game.
You suppose he was actually sitting?
That's true too.
I peg Ryan Day as a pacer.
Yeah. Well, we knew Coach Meyer was. He was a pacer.
I mean, everyone's a pacer on the sidelines. No one's sitting there watching the game from the sidelines. But I feel like absolutely both of them. Also, they don't watch a football game sitting down.
I wonder if wonder if Coach Day has a basement room where he has the doors shut and he's just down there yelling
Well,
or
he
pacing.
legitimately might be isolating himself from the family, so maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Anything else you want to talk about here?
Haskell Garrett. I don't.
Yeah, Haskell Garrett. What an athletic play by him. And great game overall by him.
Yeah, great game overall, of course. Incredibly active, but of course, then he gets the touchdown. And my goodness, Haskell Garrett. What a story. They need to make a movie about Haskell Garrett.
Mm-hmm.
Disney Plus, cancel whatever that Clemson BS is. Cancel it now. We're doing the Haskell Garrett story.
I just like that right there. Ohio State interceptions. One by Sean Wade, which was a great interception, by the way. Great focus for him to keep an eye on that ball when it was just tipped, still being able to hold that in. But then you see H. Garrett, one interception, one touchdown.
0 yards.
0 yards. Because he's that good.
And by the way, let's make sure we also point out that he made the tip as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that batted the ball in the air in order to catch it. So even if that ball goes out of the back of the end zone, that's still a great play.
Yes. All right. Anything else here? I know we're a little long here for the review here. Anything else you want to talk about here?
Let's see. Maybe just real quick. Mayan Williams, I thought looked really good. That was his first action as a Buckeye, was it not?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought Mayan Williams looked excellent.
Oh, in his last time here at Spartan Stadium, Chrisman just loves punting on that field.
Yeah, I think he had like 5 punts, but two of them were particularly devastating.
Yes.
One of them sets up Haskell Garrett for a touchdown, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
So you know what? Let's also give that touchdown to Drew Chrisman. Let's give him the assist on that.
Yes. All right. Yeah. We'll find out if Ohio State plays the team up north or another team. Hopefully we'll get more information on Friday's episode. Maybe. We'll see.
Considering we record Friday's episode on a Wednesday night, who knows?
Who knows? All right. I think it is now to hear from our sponsors, Jared.
Yeah. I'm almost, I'm halfway through. I'm a little over halfway through because it's a thing. But yeah, of my cold brew, I'm making some cold brew because I wait for it to get cold outside to make my cold brew for some stupid reason. But yeah, of my Iron Bean coffee, Kyle, I think I'm gonna open the big bag of Ride or Die next. But I have right here a bag of the Fear No Bull. This is not the actual bag. This is one of the sampler bags. So that's not the actual artwork. And I do want to talk about the artwork. Have you seen the artwork on these things?
Yeah, they're really nice.
They're really nice. I like to say that they have
very eye appealing.
Yeah, I find that coffee bags, unlike beer cans, tend to be very samey and boring, which is I don't know. I think it says a lot about the company that they don't just put all of their stuff in a brown bag, or they don't put all their stuff in like the same bag. I think it's just an indicator of the effort that they put in. Again, so go to the website and look at their mugs. Look at the mugs they have for sale. They're all handmade. Again, beautiful. A lot of effort put into them. All limited edition. Those are amazing too. It's just a company that does all the little stuff right, including not roasting the beans until you order them, including being fair trade certified, including getting single sourced beans. It's a company that's based on details and integrity, doing things the right way. Why? Because he's a Marine. He's a veteran. Iron Bean Coffee, you're supporting integrity. You're supporting a veteran, a former Marine. You're supporting an Ohio-based company. You're supporting a fair trade company. It's amazing what they do. Kyle, I think we just got a message from Mad Canadian in the Discord. See if he had anything to say. No? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you're supporting a company that is doing all of the things right. And, there's a lot of companies that you could give money to. Try and give your money to the ones that are doing things right. And if you have a coffee snob in your life, and you don't necessarily know what to get them, you can get them a gift card and they can pick out their own coffee. If you do get them coffee, though, you can save 20% off for the rest of the year with the promo code 2020. That's promo code 2020 for the rest of 2020 at ironbeancoffee.com. That is Iron Bean Coffee, America's local coffee roaster.
This episode is also brought to you by the Mad Canadian Bbq Company. Mad Canadian has 14 great seasonings, once available, for you to choose from over at the madcanadianbbq.com. That is the madcanadianbbq.com. He is still waiting for his shipment to come in so he can restock his website here. And as soon as we find out from the Mad Canadian, we'll let you know. But it's probably best just to find that out from his social medias. Check out Twitter, check out Facebook. He'll give you information to the date of when to expect his shipment in. Be sure to use the promo code when those come in. Use the promo code Sloopcast10, Sloopcast10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order. A Mad Canadian Bbq Company, where he has your butt covered.
All right, Kyle, you want to do the Ask Sloopcast next, or do you want to look at the national games next?
Some of these, I believe. Actually, I don't think any of these talk about any of the national games. So let's go ahead and do the Ask Sloopcast questions here.
All right, let's ask Sloopcast.
All right, first one we have here, Stuart_E4 US Vet. Do we see some of these linemen transfer next year after having an amazing game today?
I don't anticipate that now. The guys who played were all young. Gavin Cupp came in after Wyatt Davis got hurt. By the way, we don't have details on Wyatt Davis. We know that he didn't return to the game, and we know that he did not go to the locker room early. He received treatment on the sidelines. So just that's what we know in regards to Wyatt Davis. The injury happened late in the game, so I wouldn't put a ton of stock into him not coming back into the game. But I would put some stock into the fact that they didn't take him back to the locker room early or anything like that. They just sort of treated him on the sidelines. I take that as a good sign. That's what we know about Wyatt Davis right now. Let's see. So Gavin Cupp comes in, and Gavin Cupp's a senior. But other than Gavin Cupp, everyone else who came in was pretty young. And if they came in for this game, that means that they're poised to be starting soon. Harry Miller's going to move over to over to center next year. And Wyatt Davis is going to the NFL. So there's 2 guard spots open for next year. Thayer Munford, I imagine, on his way to the NFL. No one has to go to the NFL this year. No one's using a year of eligibility this year. Everyone can come back if they want.
If
they want. But I don't expect Thayer Munford or Wyatt Davis to come back. So that opens up a spot. I assume, potentially Paris Johnson to start at left tackle, or maybe they move Petit Free over to left tackle. Paris Johnson gets right tackle. It doesn't matter. Point is that there will be plenty of spots open, as I expect Harry Miller, Thayer Munford, and Wyatt Davis all to be leaving at the end of the year, despite the fact that they won't be forced to. So, of all the people you saw on the field, except maybe Gavin Cupp, if Gavin Cupp wants to go start somewhere next year, since, like I said, he didn't use a year of eligibility, and he can get another senior season if he wants. He can transfer if he wants. Mm-hmm. But everyone else, I feel like, is young and poised to be a part of the start offensive line next year.
Yep. Another question from him. Will Ryan Day be fired to make way for Larry Johnson to continue his amazing win streak?
No, and I'll tell you why. Coaching is ageist. He's 68 years old. No. Yeah. I mean, he's 1-0. He's now the winningest coach, percentage-wise, of all time at Ohio State. Passing, of course, Ryan Day.
Right, let's keep the lineman questions here. Another question. Will Big Greasy be a starting tackle next year?
Starting tackle? I don't think so. They might bump him into guard, would be my guess.
How many snaps will Whippler and Miller do this week after a bad performance in the shotgun snap?
So what I can tell you as someone who played center back in his football days, you can hit a shotgun snap or any snap 100 out of 100 times in practice. Just 100 out of 100. When you actually get into a game.
And you got this big old nose tackle right in front of you.
But here's the thing. Like, in practice, even when there's a nose tackle in front of you, like, it's your friend. Mm-hmm. You know, like, I know that guy. I like that guy. You get into the game, the lights are on, there's people around you. You can't just try it again. It's just different. Like I said, you can hit it 100 out of 100 times in practice. It doesn't. You just have to sort of sometimes mess it up. That's really just kind of it. Whippler and Miller will be fine. I don't take any of those shotgun snaps. If anyone doesn't know, Whippler's was the one who launched it over Jack Miller's head in the fourth quarter. I don't worry about any of it. Long term, I don't worry about any of it. It'll be fine.
All right, let's see. Next question we have here from Gangland and on our Discord here.
New member of the Discord.
Yep. How excited are you for our annual Wolverine abuse?
Right now I'm just nervous that it's not going to happen. Like, I haven't quite got to excited yet because I'm still mostly, like I said, nervous that it's not going to happen. That being said, I really, really want it to happen. And I just really, really want it. We only have, is it 8 games left before we tie up the all-time, like, the years. I mean, I'm not an old man, but I need to see this in my lifetime. It's the last thing Michigan fans have left. Well, we have the better all-time record, you guys. I don't care. I don't care. Except that I do. I really, really do. Because, like, in your lifetime, and unless you're like 111 years old, in your lifetime, Ohio State has a better all-time record over.
We're only 7 games to tie.
Is it 7 games to tie?
7 games.
Is that count now? Is it 7? Because I think it might actually be 8 because one of those was vacated. Or does that number you're looking at not count?
It includes the vacated.
It does include the so it's
well,
actually
no, it does not. So it does not include. I apologize. So it's
okay.
58 for the team up north, 51 for the good guys.
There you go. I can't sit around and just wait another year for that to happen. I need that to happen, not 9 years from now, but 8 years from now. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. It needs to happen.
We just should have just played them every game this year.
Gee, I wonder who said we should do that.
No wonder.
Now, that being said, here's another thing I need. I need this to be hate week. COVID has taken a lot from a lot of people, and I'm not anywhere on that list. I'm able to work from home. Has it been a big inconvenience to me? Yes, but I'm not a medical personnel. I haven't lost anyone close to me. Has it affected me? Yes, but I'm not complaining because it's hurt a lot of people a lot worse. That being said, don't take hate week from me. In fact, you're not going to take hate week from me because I don't care if we find out Monday morning that Ohio State's going to play Nebraska or Illinois or whom the hell ever on Saturday. I'm going to spend this week hating Michigan, just so we're clear.
Yes. And we're already
You're
full
not
swing
taking
of that.
it from me.
We're already in full swing of that on our Discord.
The letter M is now forbidden on our Discord server.
Yes.
Went through all the channel names, all the category names, and X'd them all out.
Yes. All right. From Buckeye Jared.
Who's not me.
Yes. Is dropping 100 on the team up north next week still on the table? And will that be considered style points?
It's always on the table.
Yes.
I want to point out that Ohio State just walloped Michigan State. Not even close. Basically treated them like a MAC school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair assessment?
Yep.
All right. That was without 17 of 85. That was without 17 scholarship players. This same Michigan State team beat Michigan. Ohio State, without 17 scholarship players, turned Michigan State into a MAC school. The same Michigan State that beat Michigan. It was worth saying twice.
Mm-hmm. Kind of goes into this next question from Stuart. Do our backups scare the team up north enough to sit out next week if they're able to go? You know what? It's not so much that they're scared of the backups. They're scared. They're scared of the players in Indiana. There's a certain forum who they believe that there are many, many players on that Indiana team that would easily be able to start on this year's Michigan team. Yeah.
Including 2 of their quarterbacks.
Yeah, 2 of them. Let's see. Another question from him. With it officially being the Team Up North week, which game has been your favorite game in the game? Mine was the cancellation of the Revenge Tour.
For no other reason than the symbology of it, I have to go with Tressel's first win, right? I mean,
yes.
It was the metaphorical first domino in this century of dominance. That being said, the triple overtime was a lot of fun. Curtis Samuel in overtime taking it into the end zone, which was the same game. The quote unquote JT was short game.
One of my favorites though, and you don't get to see it played too much under lights though. What about 2006? Number 1 versus number 2.
That game.
Troy Smith, Ginn, Gonzalez, Pittman.
It's unfortunate, but the truth is, and this is an unfortunate truth, that game was spoiled by the fact that Ohio State got boat raced in their next appearance.
It did, yes. But if we're looking at just the game in general.
I'm saying it's not right. It's not right that happened. But we don't talk about that as the game of the century because of that. And I don't think that's right, and I don't think that's okay, but that's the perception. That's the popular perception. Mm-hmm. You know what's underrated in the Ohio State,
or even Urban Meyer's first win.
Let me actually back up. This is an oddball answer.
All right.
In fact, I'm going to lean in. This is how oddball of an answer this is. What about the year before that?
The loss?
The loss. Because here's what's great about the loss. Yeah, that's right. I'm saying this. Here's what's great about the loss. Michigan finally beats Ohio State.
With first-year Brady Hoke.
First-year Brady Hoke. They finally... Was it first year or was it second year?
First year.
Okay. First-year Brady Hoke. They finally do it. They finally beat Ohio State. What's the headline on Monday? Urban Meyer to Ohio State. They didn't even get to enjoy it.
They had like a day. They had 1 day.
No, because it was already out. Because you remember, he was supposed to be the color commentator on that game. He spent that 1 year in the booth for ESPN. Yep. He was supposed to be the color commentator for that game. The rumor was out there, so he basically resigned from that game duty to not do it because he didn't want to be a distraction. They finally beat us, and they didn't even get to enjoy it.
And it was a close game. Honestly, it was a close game, too.
Yeah. Was it? I remember
40-34 was the final score.
Did we? I feel like that's, in my mind, like, Denard Robinson just slaughtered us.
Might have, and that's why they scored 40 points.
Well, yeah. And it doesn't matter. Point is that that's an underrated game in, like, the Ohio State lore of things. Because
that is just crazy.
Is that one of 2 victories this century?
No, they had
one of 3.
One in 2000.
Yeah.
And then in 2003.
Technically 2000 was, I don't want to be technical. Yes, I do. Technically 2000 was a part of the previous century. The century doesn't start until 2001.
Okay. All right. Either way. But here's the crazy thing with that university. Brady Hoke got you a victory.
Yeah.
The next few games here, which lost, the next 3 games that he loses. So Brady Hoke only there for 4 years. So win, you lose by 5, you lose by 1. Oh, excuse me. You win, you lose by 5, you lose by 1, and then you lose by 14. Mm-hmm. So it was really close. But then the next games, they lose by 29, and then Harbaugh gets his closest one where he loses by 3, and then you lose by 11. Then you lose by 23, and then you lose by almost 30 there.
And now Ohio State is favored by 30.
Ohio State, as we're recording this, is favored by 30.
The line opened at 27. So
it hasn't gotten better. It has not gotten better since they canned Brady Hoke.
No, they probably should have kept Brady Hoke.
They won a meaningful bowl game.
It's all so good. It's all so good.
All right. Let's get into the national games here, Jared.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Penn State on a winning streak here.
2 for 2.
They beat Rutgers 23-7.
Cost me a sloot pick.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler, are we tied in the sloot picks now?
We are now. Yes, we are tied.
Is it annoying that I ask that as a question, even though I already knew the answer?
Doesn't matter. Let's see. Nebraska looked pretty decent against Purdue. They pull off the victory 37-27.
Nebraska's not nearly as bad as the beginning of the season would indicate.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I hope they don't do some sort of knee-jerk stuff with Scott Frost. I hope not either. I hope they stick with Scott Frost for a while. I hope they give him a chance to do something with that program.
Yeah. I don't understand the whole mentality with a certain program, with a certain news program, and this game here saying this was a great victory over a great team. Texas A&M beating Auburn 31-20. This is a terrible Auburn team, but yet they're making it out as this is a great test, and it was a great show from Texas A&M here.
I mean, first off, Auburn's not terrible.
They're bad.
They're not good.
They're bad.
Yeah, I mean, they're below average by Auburn standards. They're below average by SEC West standards. They're just a team. They're a team that's not a top 25 team, but they're in the top 50. I mean, let's not say that they're bad. That's not. I don't think that's fair.
I would say they're bad.
They're just a team. That's what they are. They're just a team. But that being said, it's not a great victory.
No, not by far. And yet you hear from certain people saying that, oh, with this kind of victory, it should put them ahead of Ohio State and blah, 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 blah. No.
Those people aren't on the committee. I don't care what they have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Team Chaos, kind of. TCU beats Oklahoma State.
I've been trying not to water down Team Chaos.
Yeah.
So I'm basically have decided I'm only dropping Team Chaos from here on out if I feel like it affects the playoff picture. And Oklahoma State losing does not affect the playoff picture.
No. That puts is the Big 12 finished?
I believe
they got one more game. This is next weekend.
But I think Iowa State is locked now. No? Nope. Iowa State's not locked in yet?
So they only have one loss. Oklahoma has 2 losses, but they play each other.
Oh, they haven't played each other yet.
Nope, that's next weekend.
Oh, fantastic.
Or excuse me, 2 weekends. They have next weekend off. They're playing Oklahoma. Or is this the oh no, this is the Big 12 championship. Okay.
So yes, they're locked in.
They are locked in. It is Iowa State versus Oklahoma.
I thought they had already played each other and that Iowa State won. Yes.
I think you're right.
They did. They all play each other. It's one of the things the Big 12 actually
weird
gets right.
year. Weird year.
No. I'm giving you all of the passes. And not only, Kyle, am I giving you a pass on that, but I actually have to give you credit. We did our Big 12 preview because of 2020. Because 2020. We did our Big 12 preview after the Big 12 had already played a week. After Iowa State had just lost to a Sun Belt team. And I made fun of you for it, and you were still like, I still like Iowa State to get to the Big 12 championship game. And I was like, Iowa State, who just lost to, I think it was Louisiana Monroe.
The team
I'm in the middle of complimenting you. Shut up. I'm in the middle of complimenting you.
By the way, that loss.
And you stuck to your guns. Shut up.
That loss, Jared.
Fine, you don't get the compliment.
That loss is to Louisiana, who is ranked right now.
Yeah,
but
they are.
It doesn't take away that Iowa State got boat raced by them, but
but also at the time they were like just a Sun Belt team to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was just trying to give you some credit.
Thank you, Jared. Appreciate
dumbass.
It. Thank you. You can go to hell. All right. Notre Dame beat Syracuse 45-21. They didn't look as sharp defensively as what we've seen Notre Dame, but they pull off a victory here.
Yeah. No, Syracuse, I thought, looked pretty respectable in this, and
have one win.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Okay. Syracuse looked respectable in this.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not complimenting Notre Dame. I'm not trying to say this was a good win. I'm saying that Syracuse looked. They didn't. I think the game was closer than 21-45 would indicate. I thought that Syracuse looked better against Notre Dame than Notre Dame would have liked them to look. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Indiana.
Yeah.
Big surprise here. Indiana beats Wisconsin 14-6.
Yeah.
6.
Turns out Indiana actually might be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought? I mean, without Penix.
No touchdowns. When does the last time that happened? I know the last time. When was the last time Wisconsin didn't have a touchdown in their game?
Was that the last time?
Might be. Okay. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
Yes. 14-6. Indiana now.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and point this out. With that victory, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
71.4. This is one of my favorite stats of the year. 71.4%. Do you know what this number is?
Mm-mm.
Of Big Ten teams, 71.4% of Big Ten teams have this in common.
Losing record?
Not technically wrong. Have 2 wins. 71.4% of Big Ten teams currently have 2 wins.
Maryland, Sparty, the team up north, Penn State, Rutgers, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska, and Purdue. No team has fewer than 2 losses.
No, I have, okay, 71.4% of Big Ten teams have exactly 2 wins. just so we're clear. Not more than 2 wins, not less than 2 wins. 2 wins.
0% of Big Ten teams have less than 2 wins.
Yes, Kyle.
I like numbers. Let's see. Florida beats Tennessee 31-19. They struggled here a little bit here, but they pull off the victory here.
Oh, that was 3 heres in a row. You got a triple here score. Listen back. Listen back.
All right. I will. You're right. I'll get better next time. 31-19.
Yeah, Florida looks vulnerable. They're not. Kyle Trask is very good, and should they make their way into the playoffs somehow, Kyle Trask will look good. They're not going to win. They're not one of the top 4, top 3 teams in the country. They're a top 10 team. Kyle Trask is very good, and a good quarterback, a very good quarterback in college football will take you very far.
Yes. Yep. I mean, Florida had this handily, and Tennessee scored a couple touchdowns later in the game, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still concerning, though.
I don't know. It's fine. Florida's a good team. They have their defense is not spectacular. No one's is this year.
Yeah.
That's it. That's really the entirety of it.
Coastal Carolina beats BYU 22-17.
Credit to both of these teams for doing this. Mm-hmm. They booked this game at like within the week.
Yeah, it was like Wednesday. It was like just 3 days before. And they're like, hey, you want to meet in the backyard and play some football? Sure.
Basically what it was.
So all of these, it takes 10 plus years to schedule a game. No.
Well,
no, brah. No.
Keep in mind that they didn't try and sell tickets. It's part of the thing. But but no, the whole idea of trying to schedule games 10 years out is ludicrous. But those are 2 different ends of the spectrum.
Yep. Clemson 45-10 over Virginia Tech.
This final score may not show it, but if you actually watch this football game, one of the things I take away from this is a thing I've been saying all year, and I've already said it once, maybe even twice in this podcast. Everyone's defense is vulnerable this year, including Clemson's.
Mm-hmm.
Bama's defense is vulnerable. Ohio State's defense is vulnerable. Clemson's defense is vulnerable. No one has a great defense this year. The offenses are light years ahead of the defenses. It is much harder to play defense, and given all of the practice limitations and just 2020, all of the defenses are lacking this year. All of them. It's not just an Ohio State thing. Ohio State is struggling stopping the pass against good quarterbacks. Welcome to the club. Virginia Tech does not have a good quarterback. They were still throwing the ball across the yard against Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, they were running the ball too.
Yes.
If/when Ohio State and Clemson meet in the first round of the college football playoff, which is a thing I believe will happen, Clemson will be number 2. Ohio State will be number 3. This is a thing I believe will happen. Ohio State and Clemson will probably score about 40 points each. And at the end, one of their quarterbacks is going to have a chance to win it. And they probably will. So try and have the ball last. is my takeaway for my prediction for that game that I think will happen.
And by the way, in this game, Lawrence did not look sharp at all.
No, he did not.
He did not look good. He was 12 for 22.
Yeah.
For a $1.95, and it seemed like most of his damage on the ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was not a good game for him.
Mm-hmm. And I saw a few people asking the question of, is Trevor Lawrence really all that, like, the number one pick based off of what we've seen past this year and the year before?
Yes.
Okay.
If Trevor Lawrence had Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson, I believe it's a coaching issue. I don't believe it's a Trevor Lawrence issue. He's not getting the type of support from a coaching staff standpoint. Dabo is basically a cheerleader. I'll say it. He's a good culture builder. He's a good recruiter. He's not like some sort of great X's and O's guy. Yeah, that's right. You tell him that Ryan Day is. Mm-hmm. Venables is an amazing defensive coordinator, but he's not on the offensive side. I don't know. I think that Justin Fields looks much better in college, but I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. I do think that Trevor Lawrence, just based off of his physical gifts, he and Justin Fields are in the same conversation. Absolutely.
Yep.
And I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Last game here. Alabama just manhandling LSU 55-17.
How far has Oregon dropped off that we're not even talking about them losing now?
No one cares about the Pac-12 this year.
No, we don't.
I mean, USC is playing on a Sunday today. No one cares.
No one cares.
They haven't lost a game yet, but no one cares.
Oklahoma, and of course there are Big 12 teams, but Oklahoma, that looks terrible against Baylor, barely wins. We don't care anymore.
No.
Bama looked great. Is LSU bad? Yeah. Yep. Bama ends up winning this 55-17, and by the way, it was way worse than that. That does not indicate
what was it? They scored like 45 or something like that in the first half.
Yes, they did.
They just like, all right.
Was it 45?
Come in.
Yeah. It was 45-7 at half.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way,
at least they went 10 for 10 in the second half, right? LSU. Right.
Oh, they're basically Michigan State. And that's it.
That is all.
All right.
And as usual, we are over. So
we're not doing terrible.
Let's go and end it.
We're not doing terrible, but we are going to end it. But we're not. This isn't bad. We're maybe getting better at this. 6 seasons in. That's the end of today's show. Everyone, come join our Discord server. It's getting better by the week. We've had some really great people join recently, really engaging in the conversation. We started a book club. That's a thing that happened. I didn't see it coming, but it happened. We started a book club in the Discord. So we have a radio station in the Discord now. We're doing some cool stuff in the Discord. Come hang out. Buckeye, excuse me. It's I lost a lot. Oh man, I had a stroke there for a second. I don't know what happened. Discord.thesloopcast.com. Come on over. Come check it out. It's mostly free channels. There are some premium channels. If you want the premium channels, or if you want early access to episodes, or if you want some other really cool perks, you can check out patreon.thesloopcast.com. The premium stuff starts at $3. And quite frankly, there are higher tiers, but the $3 tier is going to get you everything you want or need. So that's really all you have to worry about. Follow me on Twitter, at Sloopcast on Twitter. Follow Kyle on Twitter. He's at SloopcastKyle on Twitter. And if you're looking for any of these links, the Patreon link, the Discord link, links to the Mad Canadian, to the Iron Bean Coffee Company, to our Twitter pages, our YouTube pages, our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher pages. If you're looking for any of those pages, just go to thesloopcast.com and it will show, it just has links. That's all it is. It's just a page with links. And so you can check out thesloopcast.com to find links to all of our stuff. All of your stuff, Kyle. All of your stuff. So yeah, check out thesloopcast.com for all that stuff. And Kyle, I think that's it. That's all the plugging. Oh, by the way, make sure to check out the Sloopcast store, merch.thesloopcast.com. Because, Kyle, congratulations to us. We are now officially big enough to be on the university's radar, and they are taking shit down on a regular basis. So go get our merch while you still can. Get our merch before the university takes it down. I've never wanted to do the get our t-shirts only available for a limited time. You have to buy it now or you'll never get it again. Well, the university is forcing us to be like that. So legitimately get it while you still can, because we're on Ohio State's radar now. Oops. That's what I get for going on the morning scoop. That's when it all started. But yeah, that's it. Get our merch while you still can. Anything in Kyle's corner?
Speaking of being on the radar, Jimmy Harbs.
Yeah.
There's rumors out there that Jimmy Harbs is keeping his radar in the NFL for next year.
Yeah, I'm giving you a 2 out of 10 on that transition.
Okay, I tried.
Yeah, but there's
also rumors that Michigan is offering him like a 3-year extension as well.
I know. I think it's ridiculous too.
I really think, and I think we mentioned this before as well. Michigan will not let Jimmy Harbs go. Jimmy Harbs would be the one leaving.
Yeah, people are acting like all of this is weird or new, but it's not. And people are acting like, well, he's getting a 3-year extension versus him potentially looking at the NFL. Like these are conflicting stories. They're not. This is the line we've been getting from Michigan insiders all year, which is Michigan will keep him. That's it. Michigan will keep him. It's up to Harbaugh to leave. That's what we've been hearing all year. So yes, the university is going to offer him an extension. That's not a surprise. That's what we've been hearing from Michigan insiders all year. Yes, he's going to explore NFL jobs. By the way, he's exploring NFL jobs in the same way that Urban Meyer explored the Texas job. Because that's what you do. If someone knocks on your door, if someone calls you and says, "Hey, I have a dump truck filled with money," you don't say no. You listen. You explore it. Now, you might be listening with one ear, but, just blah, 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 blah with your other ear. But the point is that you listen. Because even if Urban Meyer was never actually going to take that Texas job, guess what? Fox gave him a big old raise. That's why. Now, is it as much money as Texas was offering? No. But you listen. So Harbaugh's going to listen to those NFL offers. If all the NFL offers suck, he'll stay at Michigan. If the NFL offers are offering him X amount of money, he might go back to Michigan and say, "Hey, thanks for that contract extension offer, but you're going to need to add another da-da-da-da-da onto this contract in order to get me to stay. Otherwise, I'm going to go coach whomever."
Yep.
I'm going to go coach the Jets. Oh, okay. And then Michigan can then decide if they want to match that offer or not. That's just how these things are done. So yeah, he's exploring the options, and yes, Michigan's offering him an extension. These are both true, I'm sure.
All right. That's all I got. I was going to mention the whole Urban Meyer thing too, but you did it already. Yeah. Let's end the show.
Yeah. If you want the real scoop on what is going down in the mind of Urban Meyer, I would recommend reading Kirk Barton's post on the Buckeye Scoop message board, which is a thing you should be a part of. Giving a little bit of love to the podcast network there. Let's see. Anything else? You said you're done with Kyle's
We're
corner?
good.
We're good. So, Kyle, tonight's ending music will be... I thought I had this written down. Do I not have this written down? I thought I wrote this down. Da, 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 da. Tonight's ending music will be by a band called Lincoln, which I'm pretty sure is actually just a single guy, but he's out of Cincinnati, and I like him a lot, and you should check it out. Once again, that's Lincoln spelled like the president, in case there's any confusion there. So that's Lincoln. You can check out. There'll be links down in the doobly-doo. There'll be links everywhere. You can just go down the show notes, check that out. Both to the band's Bandcamp possibly, and to the music, to the video itself. So you can go check that out down in the show notes. And with all of that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music, and of course support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Lincoln.
The dog kind of day, Jared.
Yeah, we had a double podcast or a double Apollo appearance on the podcast. He popped up on my lap twice. We got a double LG bark on the podcast this week. And then you have Leo just passed out on your chair back there.
He is.
He's the well-behaved one.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm talking here, and he's. Oh, there goes an eye. Okay.
I almost said Lincoln like the president and not like the park, but technically the park that Lincoln Park is named after is actually also spelled like the president. They just didn't spell it that way for the band.
Nope.
Which I think was just good SEO. Of course, I don't know if we were worried about SEO back in 1997 or about when that band was formed. I know Hybrid Theory came out in I think 99. I think is when Hybrid Theory came out, but they were a band a couple years before that. But I don't think we had the term SEO yet back then. That's search engine optimization for anyone who's not a complete geek out there. By the way, if you're going to start a podcast, everyone, if there's any future podcasters out there or current podcasters out there, learn about search engine optimization. I fully believe that the only reason our podcast is as successful as it is because I learned about search engine optimization. There is a reason why, Kyle, that this podcast, I think in Apple Podcasts to this day, this podcast, the technical name of it is the Buckeye Sloopcast, an Ohio State podcast. Because if someone goes into Apple Podcast, if they search Buckeyes, they find it. If they search Ohio State, they find it. These things aren't accidents. Learn about search engine optimization if you want to be a podcaster, and if you want to be found in all of the muddy waters of the millions of podcasts that are out there. Mm-hmm. That's a little tip from me to you. And with that, let's rejoin the audio listeners. You want to make it appearance number 3? Come on up. Come on. There you go. Once again, would like to thank Lincoln for ending today's show. And once again, would like to thank the Iron Bean Coffee Company for sponsoring today's show. What are you doing, Apollo? Quit bumping the microphone. Iron Bean Coffee is a coffee company based on integrity. And of course it is. It's run by a former Marine, a U.S. veteran. He is roasting coffee to your order. That's right. He is roasting it to your order. These are the freshest possible beans. They are not roasted until you place your order. I'm going to say that one more time. The beans are not roasted until you place your order. You cannot get any more fresh than that. If you live in the Toledo area, you can go pick up your beans in person to get them even that much sooner. If you live in the Ohio area, well, the mail doesn't take that long. You'll be fine. The point is that it doesn't sit in a warehouse or on the store shelves for weeks and months on end. You're getting the freshest possible coffee. Some of the more popular flavors are available in K-Cup. Free shipping over $50. Gift cards are available if you have a coffee snob in your life, and you don't personally know how to shop for coffee. Get them a gift card, and get them get them coffee without, actually getting them coffee. And for the rest of the year, for the rest of 2020, you can get 20% off your order using the gift code. I almost said gift card again. Gift code still doesn't make sense. Using the discount code 2020. I'm going to say that again because I butchered it so hard the first time. Use the promo code 2020 to get 20% off your entire order. See, was that so hard, Jared? Jesus. Shipping, again, free shipping over $50. IronBeanCoffee.com. Once again, that is Iron Bean Coffee, America's local coffee roaster.
This episode was also brought to you by the Mad Canadian Bbq Company. Just hang tight, everybody. Mad Canadian will get all of his spices up and ready for you to purchase the entire hog, well, hopefully this week here. Be sure to check out his social medias, Facebook, Twitter, to find out when he's back in stock, and you can go ahead and continue purchasing the whole hog again over at the madcanadianbbq.com. That is the madcanadianbbq.com. Be sure to also use promo code SLIPCAST10 for 10% extra off your entire order. Anything else you want to say about the Mad Canadian? Looked like you were about ready to say something there, Jared.
Not only was I not about to say something, my mind was blank. About an hour 20 into the podcast, like I'm just sort of glazing over at this point because I talk more during the podcast than I do all week combined.
Mad Canadian wants to thank you and apologizes at the same time. It's just overwhelming support paired with an alarming unavailability as well. So hang tight. Your favorite spices will be coming back in stock soon. Mad Canadian Bbq Company, where they have your butt covered.
What's up, YouTube? Once again, saying hi. My face, playlist. Listen to all of our season 6 episodes. Laugh at us for when we predicted things and were wrong. Or congratulate us when we said things and it turns out we were right. You can watch the entire season. I don't know why the hell you do that, but if you wanted to, you can click on my face for the playlist. Over on Kyle's face, say hi, Kyle. Over on Kyle's face, you have the subscribe button. It might say Buckeye Sloopcast. It might say Buckeye Scoop, depending upon where you're watching this. We don't care where you watch this. Watch it on our channel, watch it on their channel, but we do ask that you subscribe to both. So there you go. Give us a subscribe, give us a like, do all that stupid YouTube stuff. Peace.